Hello, hello. It's been a little bit. So, good time of day, everyone. Today is going to be a relatively, I don't want to say boring, but it's not going to be exciting. I'm just going to be working on a bit of code in the background that I would want to use in other projects. Maybe bring back the Final Fantasy Morkborg at a certain time, or use it for one-offs. But either way, see, I'm perfectly normal. Oh. Ah, 1 second. I missed doing this. It's been 2 weeks. I can fix this. Pop out chat. Copy paste. Where are you? Chat, where are you? Can't find chat. You can find the live split. There you are. Oh, no, it's, I just have to update the URL and it'll start pulling things in. There we go. So, actually, let me pop open everybody's favorite little program, Sprite, to outline what I'm attempting to do. So I have a very, I guess you could call it strange way of organizing my main heartbeat for heartbeat, main loop, whatever you want to call it for the programs, and I realized I could do something slightly different. Sprite, there you are. Which one's the newer one? You're the newer one. You're not even the newest one. I should probably go download that. Yeah, look, there's a newer one. And let's adjust this a little bit. There we go. 800 by 800 sounds good. So usually, how I do this, I have main here, and inside of main I have a single loop that just goes around and around, updates the time. I really don't know, I just made the model how I wanted to make the model. Updates it, and then based on various flags I have going, it either renders or runs the groups, so I could have show inventory or whatever, and that would render based on that flag being set. Now I had a realization, I technically don't need to have that in one spot. So if I farm out the frame limiter to its own thing, and I farm out the keyboard update to its own thing, I can basically make ravioli code, which contains exactly what needs to render for that frame. And I think this is probably more in line with older coding strategies. And like the only way I could show this as an example is there's no loop in this. I have absolutely no loop in my main, but what I do have is I have the setup, and then I have the test battle loop, which goes into here and has an infinite true statement, which runs its update, which first off checks to see if it needs to quit out the system. Then it queries the it queries the current inputs so that I can have it be on the fast one instead of doing the poll events, which turned out to be slow, and then updates all the timers, and then it just does the various commands. Like right here is, I could even farm this out again. This is a little bit of keyboard control, and this is just the actual render. Now, why this is completely different is that I could basically chain these together so that I could have it be, I have the main loop, which starts at the start screen. I press start I go into the map mode, which is running internally in its own thing. It never goes back up to the start screen. Then I get into combat, and then once again, just goes into an infinite loop underneath combat. It's different than what I usually do. It's all effectively the same in the end, but interesting, possibly a little more portable. But I do have a bit of an example right now, because this is what I currently have, just simple, hey, I can run stuff in selected, and I can display some character setup, which I had messed up slightly, which is right about here, yeah. So if I recompile this, bop, and run it again, oh. Set player, oh, yeah, okay. That's why. Need to check on what's going on with that, but so far, what I do have, yeah, there you go, is I have 3 entities I could select. These I could put anywhere on the screen. This I could put anywhere on the screen. And I could update it at any time if I want to do shenanigans at the moment. But for right now, I want to move on to my favorite thing, the text scroll. So let's pop open this and figure out if I want to put it into enemy rendering or something else. I think I'll make a new file. Folder, new file. I'll just have it be called that. And I can basically steal from player render. I'm setting this up. Bop. So I'm just going to skeletonize the code a little bit. Oops, wrong language. I'm going to need a struct of lines of text. I'm going to need... Is there anything else? Menu dialogue lines for your standard Dragon Quest sort of, you know, attack, defend, yada yada. Now, these aren't going to be linked to anything. They're just going to have basically a number in it and then a text to display and where on the screen to put it. Anything else? I don't think I'm going to do animations right now. I just want this to be bare bones as possible so I can actually get something done for once. A lot of my problem is I get too much into the minutia and I never finish anything else. And then setups, rendering. So, just so I can look at the screen. How many lines did Dragon Quest have? Original Dragon Quest Nest Battle. There we go. It's good to always give some sort of estimate on something that's already existed. Boop, boop. So Dragon Quest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of scroll. That is going to be a bit weird for a multiple character system, though you could technically have it. Also, I would say that I find it strange in the original Dragon Quest they had so much for the little combat screen. Because it did change per location. Let me see about 2. So I think that is where... Yeah, here we go. This is where it, like, lost everything. It's kind of funny to me. Whoop, that's not it. Copy image. So they stacked them up here, and then they had, let's see, that's 3. It looks to be about 8 again. You double it up, and then you add 2. So 8 is a good number to have on text going in there. Interesting, your name could be longer than what they would show up there. And this is the game where you could have, you know, multiple characters. Dragon Quest II was, you played the Descendants. It was a sequel. 3 was the prequel. And you could, it had all the class stuff in there. I don't remember if it had class change. I've actually never played that one. I never played 2 either. I just do enough research about them and watch far too many speed runs and other such silliness with it. But anyways, so we're going to go with a why you be like this? Okay, you don't care anymore. First off, int, const int, we're not going to be changing this. Max scroll line equals 8. And const int. I guess we're going to have to menu dialog, large menu dialog. You know what? I'm going to actually rename this to be text system or text render. So rename this. It's less combat and more just basic text. I could reuse the menu dialog for shops. I think technically they reused the basic scroll or text box for everything else. Anyways, so max basic menu equals 4 const int max large menu actually, let me think on this one at a time. Let's just do the scroll for now, my favorite thing. We make a structure. Text scroll. And it is going to have standard string. Text line of max scroll line. Oops. There we go. Is it comma? It's comma. And int screen X, int screen Y. Is it comma? Semicolons? Semicolons. Okay, for its enums, that's commas. Okay. And then we're going to have text scroll, main text scroll. Should probably be used for combat and all that. Equals booper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 0, 0. It'll be top left corner at moment. Set that up. Void default main text scroll. And all this is going to do is set main text scroll dot text line to blanks. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Okay, I'm being silly on that. Okay, don't care to really figure it out. For int index equals 0, int, or index less than max. Scroll line, index plus plus. Main text scroll, index, or text line index equals blank. Good enough, don't care. There's smarter ways to do it, but I'm not smart enough at the moment. So we have that. Void add text. Now the question is, does it go from bottom to top or top to bottom? Let's go back to the example. It goes from you add it, you add it, you add it, you add it, you add it. Okay. Add text, standard string, text in. So what this is going to do, for int index equals 0, index less than max scroll line, index plus plus. I'm going to have to add something here in a second. Void remove text. And what this is going to do is for int index equals 0, index less than max scroll, or getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm going to have to make a buffer where it just feeds all the text into there, and then I'll just trickle it in. So what this is going to do, it's going to remove the top line of text when it kind of gets to the bottom and it needs to scroll a bit more. -1. So, main text scroll index equals main text scroll index plus 1. And then at the end, main text scroll dot. I am braining 1,000 today. There we go. Max scroll line -1, because index 0 will be a blank line. Oh. There we go. So this will go through, and it will check to see if there's a blank line. And actually, I should probably... Spaces are not blank lines, but it'll be a blank line when it renders out. Okay, so when this goes through, it's going to check to make sure that text line index is blank or not. So if that is just an empty string, therefore a blank line, we're good. We can break out of this. And we can also set this to the incoming text. Now, if it goes through the entire list, it's going to have to remove text. And then set the last line to be text in. Text always gets pushed to this. And then blank line is going to be used sometimes to just, well, we have an example. Right here. We have a blank line. But I can't use an empty string, but blank lines are about a space is effectively a blank line. Okay, so we have that basic stuff. We have the ability to clear it out. Now we need to render it. Void render main text scroll. Since we're keeping all the information inside of the object, we can just trust that it's at the right location. Which will allow us to also do weird stuff like move it to the top of the screen for like talking to people. But yeah. Anyways, for int index equals 0, the standard dense. This is why a lot of languages started doing for each loops, because they never wanted to do this a million times. I'm just numb to it now. Like Python, you can iterate over an array. C#, you can iterate over an array. This you have to, well, explicitly iterate over the array. There we go. No, I don't actually need to do that. So, I need to do text rendering, so I have my sprite thing over here, and I think I have code that just slaps out a sprite, or text. Yep, render text, there we go. We pass in the renderer, we pass in the text, and I now have a global renderer, so I don't need to bother with that. Okay. Room. Render. I'll just go with render text for now. I should probably be doing the block stuff, but I'll figure things out about chopping off the end of text. Honestly, probably just make sure that every line can be fit in the right size. Will keep me more sane. Render text. Oops. Okay, there we go. We got main render. We got our font texture. And then we got our main text scroll dot screenx, main text scroll dot screen y. Let's just offset this so this stays on the same little bit of screen real estate, since I'm doing this terribly. Okay, and then we get main text scroll in text line index. And everything's hunky-dory. So with that, we can go back into something like, we have enemy renderer. I think this is where I'm keeping everything. Yeah, pretty much. Actually, let me see. That's in here, and it should do. Yeah, okay. How's player getting in here? Anyways, include text system render.h. Encapsulate that. You're happy? I'm happy. Okay. Render battle screen. Boop. Render main text scroll. There we go. So there's nothing in there right now. I'm going to put in a key. So when I do my except, I'm just going to add something to it. I think that was... Yeah, here it is. if main control dot action mod 16 equals 1. This means if I hold it down, it'll fire off every 16 frames. Well, every 16... Yeah, I guess it'd be frames. Let's go with add text A. Okay, let's see how badly I screwed up. There's no hope. So I hit action A. Oh, it's only doing 1. It's not adding multiple. Ah, I know why. Because I didn't increase this. Plus index times glyph height. Oh no. There we go. So it was just, it was putting it all on top of each other. Okay, we run this again. I hit this. That works. I hit Z. That's interesting. It's going backwards. Also, is glyph 32? Glyph is 32. I want char. Oh yeah, when I made this, I was using 32 for enemy sprites. That's where it all came from. Okay. So this thing's sitting at 0, 0. However, it's doing it backwards. So it's rendering all the way down here. And then it's at 0. Then it's rendering up. I need to change a little something. So either when I add text... Oh, it's only hitting it down here. Okay, actually. Standard cout. Adding text at index. Index. Standard end line. I think it's only entering it at this point, so there's something a little weird going on there. So let's debug this. Hit end. Remove text and added it. Whoop. Okay, so I hit the button. It says it added text at index 0. Says it's adding text at index 0. Says it's adding text at index 0. And it's saying it hit and remove text and add. Okay. So it's running both. Oh, okay. I don't need to break. I need to return. My bad. So what's going on is it adds text at the top, then it gets out of here, instantly removes that text, and then yeah, okay. My bad. I should probably actually close the screen to run it. There we go. Now it's removing it when it gets to the bottom. Okay, so we have that. Now then, let's do menu work, because technically that's already done. I can add embellishments around it, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to get as much crap done as possible. So, struct small dialogue, or small Could I use it for both? I think this one isn't going to have 2 rows. Yeah, for now I'm going to stick with the one. Okay, yeah, okay. Int screen x equals, nope, wrong thing. Int screen y. Standard string menu item. Of a small menu. I might be moving some of these later, but const int small menu max. I'm going to say 6 because that's what I remember from the other ones. From the menu shops. Okay, so we have that. What we also need to have with this is standard string int menu value, so that you can actually know what you're getting. Is that enough? I think it's enough. Oh, wait, also, let me do this. I actually updated it so that I had it in here. I wanted to use something a little lo-fi, and I had splurged on a Humble Bundle, so let's go with this for a while. Okay. I technically have a lot of music, I just don't use it. It's all fine for streaming once I bought it. It was all cheap as heck. Humble Bundle does a lot of sales of pretty much, hey, give 30 bucks, here's 40 gigs of music. Okay. So, small menu. I can't spell. Well, menu equals 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think technically I can just go 0, 0, 0 the first part of it and it blanks the rest of it out, but I don't trust anything. Honestly, I should be defaulting it, but I feel better when I make sure that the initial one is properly... Oh, my bad. There you go. You happy now? You're happy now. And also, I need to have int small menu curse. Okay, anyways, okay, void default small menu, small main small menu. Actually, I can do a 4 here. Like small menu max. Index plus plus, and then I clear these out both at the same time. Helps if I also put this here. Index. Oh. Let's call that menu text. The fun thing about all this is that technically everything in the background is just an int. Characters are ints, everything is ints, because everything ends up at binary, and the best way to get to binary is through ints. Booleans, I think, are full... Yeah, they're a full char length. So if I use a Boolean, I'm wasting space. Because the compiler just reserves a char worth of memory. Anyways, do a new value. Actually, -1, I will have a const int no item equals -1. And we'll just have that be no item. Okay. Void default. Also, technically, I can just reuse... I can make other menu things, but I'll reserve that for, like, when I have 20 sub-menus, which I'll try to avoid. Okay. Small menu up. Cursor up. Small menu cursor minus minus if small menu cursor is less than 0, we have to wrap around. For int index equals small menu max minus 1. Index minus well, index is greater than 0. Index minus minus, we're doing a weird go backwards loop. Because we have to check to see if, like, it gets to the bottom, it sees that there's an item there. So, once we're in there, main small menu dot menu value, or first off, set small menu cursor equal to index. This will be so if it's wrapping around on 0, because there's only one item for some strange reason, but thou must. If does not equal no item, we break out. Okay, void small menu cursor. Wait. This is going down, but on the menu it would be going up. I guess it will be up. It's going to confuse me, but that's fine. What I mean is index 0, index 1, index 2. So to go down, you have to increase, but to go up, you have to decrease. Small menu cursor plus plus if small. This one's going to be easy because it's always going to wrap around to 0. So, but we're going to have to check if we hit a no item, which wraps around. If small item menu cursor equals small menu max. Hello, welcome to Boring Code. well, I wouldn't say boring, but not exciting. I'm just doing some basic old JRPG system setup. I don't know, it's about how I feel. Or... I don't know, I woke up yesterday and went, yeah, this is what I'm gonna work with. The old code, fear the old code. Where was I? Yes. Main small menu. So actually I think I could do this because C++ doesn't care about, yeah, it doesn't care. Or maybe it does. Bop. Actually, no, I didn't get to watching them too much. Equals no item. So, okay. The rationale behind this... Ugh, why are you doing it like that? I watched a little bit, but I just wasn't up for it. I'm still kind of recovering and, like, falling asleep all the time. Okay. We have items. This is blah, blah, blah. And this is the end of the list, but these three are not set up. So we are here. We go, okay, we want to move down. We increment our cursor. And then we go, hey, are we out of bounds? No. Hey, is this equal to no item? No, it's fine. We do nothing else. So we're able to increment again. Same thing. So then we increment again and we go, we're in bounds still. Oh, but this is -1. So when we do that, we're going to want to set this to 0. Because we wrap around on the list. It's much easier than the going up version because we have to look for the first actual item. Okay, now let's get to actually rendering this. I'll make a setup for it in a bit, but void render small menu. So it's pretty much going to be a carbon copy of this. In which case I'm just going to go yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah, actually that should be uppercase. Everything's happy. And that's fine. But instead of text line, it's going to be menu text. Whoops. Boop, boop, boop. You happy? You're happy. Okay, now that we have that, let's add some of the other stuff. Void add small menu item. I'm probably going to add insert one, but I want to have an add one just to keep it easy. You'll probably run into bugs later, but yeah. Okay. So first we need a string. Display text int item value. And this is going to be simple. Or int index equals 0, index less than small menu max, index plus plus, if main small menu dot, no, it's menu value, index equals no item, we set the items. Text index equals display text main small menu dot menu value index equals whatever item value we're passing in. Okay, since I have this rigged on the other one, I'm going to first off I'm going to add a positional because it's probably going to use a lot. Set small menu position int x int y small menu dot screen x equals x small menu dot screen y equals y. Okay, so set small menu position. Let's add it at 20x and screen height divided by 2. Sounds fine. Now we're going to add a few items to it. Ah, wait, we need also... Oh, main small. My bad. We also have to have in the render so we're going to add a plus char width times 2. This is important because if index equals small menu cursor, we need to render text at that location that is just a cursor pointer. Very simple, very easy, useful. Okay, add small menu. Foo can be 1. Add small menu item. Bar can be 2. Add small menu item. Spam. I'm literally doing Python tutorial with that one. Okay, so we have that set up. Now back in our heartbeat controller, because we have this. Just to test, I am going to move this down, and I'm going to use the up and down to move these cursor. So main controller. Small menu cursor up. Yes. Okay. Else if main controller. I'll actually explain this in a second. I've done this before with my old Python game code. But this... did I make it its own file? I possibly did, but I can't tell. Enemy render, blah, 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 player render. Nope, it's probably living in this one. So let's take a look towards the top. Yeah, here it is. So all I did, this will possibly be useful later if I want to have custom setups for buttons. But I have these set up. And then I have controller count, which is just mimicking this. I don't have starter option right now because I didn't bother. Well, what I'll do is grab the keyboard state and just look at the index for like up. And if up is set up, I increment that by 1 and I set that to 0. Otherwise, I set it to 0. And I just do that for everything. It's kind of dumb. but I don't know a better way to do it. So every heartbeat I will run the update controller, so it will just increment any key that is being pressed, otherwise sets it to 0, and then I can just reference that global object to see what's going on. Kind of clean, I guess, but anyways. Back down here, so we have that set up. Let's take a look at the battle render screen, and we'll just render small menu. Now, if everything went well, which it probably didn't, I will now have a menu that has foobar spam, which is the standard for Python programming tutorials. And I don't, but I do have my menu, which is going around and not working correctly, because it should just sit up here at 0. First off, I'm going to move that menu down 1. And then go back into here. So I'm going to put a little debug code in here. Standard cout added at index standard indel. Actually, you should return. It can fall. Okay, standard cout fell off. Okay, so let's run that again and see what's going on in the debugging. Yeah, they're just all falling off. Oh, I'm setting them to 0. Aha! I didn't run the defaulting. Now setting it to 0, so it's not adding any item, but it sees that it's full. There we go. Now we have foobar spam. However, I am not rendering stuff right. And the little selection thing is being crowded out. It's being written on top of. You should not be 2 over. Whoops, wrong button. All right, back into here. Run it. There we go. And if I really wanted to be fancy, because I might as well be, if global, there we go. What is my heartbeat timer? Overall time, there we go. I'm lost. Okay, let's get back into that render. Oh no, that should be over here. There we go. If overall time modulos 128 is greater than 80, sure. Yeah, sure. Cursor equals that. Probably won't look great. Oh, it has to be Fmod. Okay, so we have that. This is the dumbest, simplest trick for animated cursors, but it works. Look at its spin. Now then, okay. Okay. Let's reduce it to about 8. There we go. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. What I would really do is I'd have a special cursor character set up, and I'd have them interpolate between those two, but this works. Okay, so as we can see, the menu works. I'm at 0, it goes all the way to index 2. I'm at index 2, it goes all the way to 0. That's everything we wanted. It can technically hold 6 items, so we'd be able to iterate through that list. But right now, it's set up for that. Okay. Let me go back to drawing board for a second, because I think I might have run out of things I wanted to do today. And that kind of sucks unless... Oh, I could write a... I wanted to get menus done. I wanted... Okay. Map render system, which I'm not touching at the moment. NPC dialogue, which will be handled by the main text. Shop dialogue, which will be handled by menus. I technically have enemy selection. I know I didn't like show it off. Whoops, that's the wrong button. Yeah, there we go. Like, I have 3 enemies right now, and I just have left and right set up to cycle through them, which works in a very similar fashion to what I have for the menus. So shop dialogue is handled through similar, you have text on screen, you have menu go up and down, add whatever logic I need to behind the scenes. Okay, we have enemy display. Which is handled by, I already had that set up before coming into this stream. Action selection, which is both handled by the same thing. Shop dialogue is the same as killing an enemy. Make of that what you will. As far as displaying goes. I have flare displays. They aren't the best, but I already had them coming into here. Is there anything else? I guess equipment. But once again, that is basically handled by shop dialogue, but I do need something. Well, that would also be kind of handled by the dialogue engine as well. Sorry, I'm thinking because... Is there anything left? I mean, I might want to make some sort of stat screen that's not connected to... Yeah, let's do that. Let's ignore the large one for now. Large one would be like having Dragon Quest didn't have the luxury of doing a lot of things, so it always had everything run off of, you know, single list. And maybe you could scroll through it, I'm not sure. I think it was just very truncated. But Final Fantasy came along and did, like, you know, you have 2 items per row because you have so many magic spells you have to go through for Black Mage. So you need to have as much real estate to display the spells as possible. That would be the large one. I'm not touching it for now. But statistics sound like a thing. Int. Constant. I don't even really need to put constant on it. I just do. Max statistic. Equals. So you have HP. You have HP, MP, which includes max MP. You have level. Let's go with the basic 6 statistics. So that puts us up at 11. You also need to have EXP in there, so that's 12. One second. Dragon Quest NES stat screen. I am all for... How do I make... The apocryphal tale of the very first Drakengard was that he was just handed the project. He didn't told to make Dynasty Warriors. He didn't know what to do, or how to plan anything, or how much he had to go into it, so he just looked at Dynasty Warriors, estimated all the stuff in it, and then did about half. That was his approach, and it's a really silly approach, but it's probably the best if you don't to get actual progress done. Because you're guessing anyways. It's actually really hard to find like Dragon Quest II stat screen. Because for Dragon Quest I, you basically have the stat screen in your combat. Maybe I could find it on a wiki. Oh yeah, you have to show gear. And technically spells. I have no idea where this is coming from, but where is this gallery coming from? It's coming from something Magic Bullet. Oh, Dragon Quest of the Stars. That's where I fell into. Okay. I have no idea on this, but pretty much all the stat screens work the same as this. So, yeah, you have your standard sort of D&D stats. They add luck. You have your max HP. Attack and defense are Derivative. And then you have your spells, your other information, which probably wouldn't even have in there in the normal Dragon Quest. But you need to have gear. So I'm probably going to need 2 of these, possibly more. But the trick will be is that I just reuse it. And then I just don't have all the statistics in there. So let's put this at a nice 16 because that sounds about right. And then we're going to have sorry. Okay. Struct. Statistic list. And all it's going to be is just text and numbers once again. And once again, no item means don't display anything. Actually, we're going to add a new one. Specifically for this. Because we won't really have negative numbers. But we can have zeros. Because, you know, dead characters. Anyways. Standard string. Statistic name list. And that will be max statistic. Standard. Oh, nope, that should be an int. We'll just call it display. Statistic. There we go. And I'm not going to default these ones by hand because it's 16. So we now have statistic list. Main statistic list. I think I could get away with that and it blanks everything out. Oh. It's a weird standard, but I think if you set at least one thing to 0, it just puts zeros for everything. And given that, you know, that's 0, yeah. Why is that green? Thank you. My hands aren't working. Do. Okay. Index equals 0, index less than max statistics, index plus plus. And what we have is main statistic list, statistic display equals blank. Okay, so we have that, and then we just, you know, copy paste and Now this is also going to have the issue of what I had before, because 0 is a valid number, therefore it'll display things, but we're setting them all to blank anyways. And I'll just put a thing, if the thing is blank, don't bother displaying it. It's not like we have a cursor that goes through this. It's all purely for just relaying data, so all fine. Okay. And standard string. Zero. So I'm going to do something where I pass something in. I think I might have to do some weirdness with this. We'll see. So I have 3 of them now, and I don't like that. But it is what it is. Thank you, compiler. And then we get the heck out of Dodge. There's not really removing on this, it's just regenerate the whole thing. Oh well, he'll be annoying, but we'll live. Okay. I'm just going to steal this up here. Yoink. At some point I'd make it fancier, but this is supposed to be the most dumb, simple version. Actually, how did that... Okay, we're going to have to make an assumption of where the numbers go. Uh, 12 characters. I'll just toss it out there. Equipment, the spells, I don't think I need to have it. In fact, if the thing is 0, it won't do it. Sounds about good. Okay. I think I might need to play some pointer math and pass things around, but pretty much there. So let's go into main. And let's make some statistics. Actually, did I set a positional thing for this? No, I did not. Int x, int y. I might need to make these be by reference or some other junk that it's annoying to remember how to do, but I'll do one of the 7 different ways to do it, and I'll work with the one that works. Okay, so default, all statistic list, set statistic list, main, screen height. Nah, it could be at 0. I'll just overlap everything. Oops, I need to put the 0 there though. Yeah, let's put it down like 16. And it will be HP. $20. So as I said, this is all just like generic. It does not reference anything. So I can just work with it all day. Okay, let's get back into the heartbeat controller. Let's go back up to this and go render statistic main statistic list. And this probably explodes, as I said. I'm probably going to need to pass this by some sort of pointer reference for it to properly update and all that, but let's see. Okay, not seeing anything, it's unless I put it really far off screen, but go back down to here. Just to remind myself. And then we're going into here. And I'm just going to put this out. Okay. Now we'll see if it's actually hitting that step. Yeah, it's just saying it's all blank. So I probably need to, how am I supposed to pass these again? Let me do a quick Google. It's been a bit. Okay, it's this. So over here, I put the pointer thing here. Or do I? Oh. That's the one. Everything's fine. I might need to do weirdness on the other side, but right now everything's fine. Okay, so I go over here. It's not yelling at me yet. Let's see if it actually follows through. There we go. That's what I needed. The silliness of old code. Okay, let's get rid of this. So it's passing over a chunk of memory and actually able to access it instead of doing, I'm guessing it'd probably be undocumented things. Why is it rendering that twice? Oh, because, yeah, that's why. Amazing. I think my headphones just died. Whoop. 1 second. Okay, there we go. That's why you have backup headphones. Which means I need to buy more headphones. Unending. So, okay. So, the main problem going on right now is that I'm, well, not rendering this quite well. That's a simple fix. So 2 ways to fix this. First off, if this is blank, continue. And if is greater than -1. So with that, we won't have the extra junk. There we go. Also, this is not at the right place on the screen, and I think that's more because I did not actually update the positional to have the reference. So now this is going to be unreadable because I chose bad numbers. Yeah, see, now it's all pushed off screen. Yada yada. I want to put a half hour more of work into this, and then I should probably stop. I'm still trying to get up stamina for basic living at the moment, but, yeah. Maybe I'll order pizza today, though. Probably shouldn't, but maybe I will. Okay. So... there's player stats. I can reuse that all day and night for every other one of them. And there's only going to be 3 that are going around, but, yeah. The rest of that is is the system interpreting it correctly. I guess I do need to make a render engine then. Okay. Back to the fun. Excuse me. Add file to the chat because they want me to really use Copilot, but I don't have a paid thing for it, and I don't think the cheap one is going to help me out too much. Or the free one. Anyways, I want to add a file. Can you just, there we go. Tile map render. Oop. Oh, need all this junk. And I think actually in construction, in my construction header, I should, because this was originally, you know, yeah. Actually, how big is the overworld? It's probably like it's probably like 64. Dragon Quest overworld size. Just because, if this is proper screen size, let me put the blue lines of destiny on this. Yep, this looks to be proper screen size. So I could just do math. Aha. So. Oh, wait, I could just, this number down here is telling me how big it is. I think it's 128 by... Oh, it is just... So it's 124 by 124. If you don't... That's interesting. So that's like 4 off of how it should be. And Dragon Quest is really interesting with how it's set up stuff. Because you start here. You can see the end of the game from where you start. Like, you start here, you go to your first town. I forget where the first place you're supposed to go. It might have been like the hero's cave up here. Then you're supposed to like wrap around to there to get some equipment. Go down here. Go into that one. And this is where you get your first real piece of equipment. And after that, I'm a little lost. I know over here is the golem. Yeah, here's the swamp with the dragon in it. And that's where you get the princess, then you carry her all the way back. This is where you get one of the other items if you got the item from I think once you get the princess, you're able to get the one item by asking her the coordinates, and you literally have to walk out somewhere, sit in there and do a search, and then you bring that up to him and he gives you like the armor or something. Yeah. I don't think that maybe the golem was here, because I know the golem like just hard stops you from entering a town. Yeah, I'm kind of only remember the speed run. And pretty much I know you get like the armor from down here. You get the armor or something from down here. Maybe it's the sword you get from the grave? Not sure. It's been a while. And also the randomizer kind of, you know, ruins me on what's going on. But yeah. Once you have like the token or whatever, you get the rainbow drop and you can go over here and you make the rainbow bridge to go over and you fight the Dragon Lord at the castle. But yeah, that's a pretty... I'd think it'd be 126, but I guess like maybe it is in memory and it just has more water. And they just didn't show it because why bother? Also, I think one thing that Dragon Quest had, which is kind of funny, is based on what tile you're on or next to. It will just, because it has to repeat at the edge of the screen, because they don't make the, what do you want to call it, the towns as big as this in memory. They just make it like the small town size, and then at the edge of the screen, they just repeat the basic tile that it's next to on the overworld, or that it's considered in, or whatever. But yeah. Something crossing bridges make everything more dangerous. Well, it's kind of silly. There is an art to making an overworld. Like, I never get it because I can never do level design right. I'm just more to the point. And I think one of them, and possibly other ones, they literally just ripped off of a map of the world. But like, yeah. Map. Like, what possesses you to literally make... Where was it? This section right here. I mean, technically this is completely useless unless there is a thing you have to sit on and hit search, but I don't think it is. I mean, I can understand, like, oh, here's the row of this, so you're not technically able to get into here, but... Like, what's the point of going over here? Was it just to help with exploration, or to, like, see, oh, yeah, there's more map over here, so... I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of funny that you could go up this way and get over here. Or you could go down this way. Neither of them lead to it. I don't know. Anyways. I mean, newer games, they would probably put like a town over here or a special encounter with a random enemy, or maybe even like another dungeon that just has some random loot in it. They're really stretched on having random caves on here. Because the original Dragon Quest is a very, very early NES game. When because like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest came out about the same time in the United States, which really was like why... And Dragon Quest got an upgrade. Dragon Quest, you had directionals and how to interact with things. You didn't just like look left and talk. You had to go into your menu and hit talk left. But the US release made things sane. But they didn't have parties or anything because really they were trying to go off Ultima at the time. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure on the Ultimate series, but I'm pretty sure the earlier ones were just single player go around stuff. And then Final Fantasy came out, and it was, well, it's a Temple of Elemental Evil. Anyways, enough yapping. Let me go back into this. I don't think I need to make it that big. I'm just going to say 80 by 80. And I don't need to have the tile stuff. Or the stitching stuff. Maybe I need to use directionals for something. Okay, we have that. We can go back into... Where are you? Tile map. So this is probably going to be a little different than the rest, but still we're going to be using structs. Because tile maps are always going to be somewhat referenced to what they're at. So, tile. Int texture. Tile main tile map is, we can probably close some of these down. Map total. Void default tile. Are you happy? You're happy. For int index equals 0, index less than map total, x plus plus. Main tile map index dot texture. I'm going to say -1, and I'm going to say those just don't render. Okay. Int index equals x plus y times map. Well, that's not it. Map width. Texture x equals texture x. Okay, now we're going to get to the interesting part about rendering this, because we're going to have to do this in partial bits, unless we want to like really slam every... How to put it? Okay. So, what I'm saying is, we can have simply be it like this, and then every time you move over one, it just goes straight over to the next tile, which is kind of jarring. Or I can have it do a fade over and have to have it support that. Which means I have to do partial renders of this and whatever's on the other side of that. Which I think I'm going to try and work with. Shouldn't be too hard. Render tile map. Because the viewport is always going to be the same size. The viewport is... Actually, let's put that in here. Viewport X equals... Yeah, I think I'm going to just keep everything at 16. Lift width. Cool. There we go. So we have a viewport width and height, which we can use over here. Anyways, int x, int y. So once we have that, sorry, I'm thinking real hard here. So, basic brain says that if we put in 0, 0, we're rendering 0, 0, and then all the viewport width and all the viewport height. But if we're rendering 5 in this, we are still rendering viewport height, but we're rendering in like 5 more on the edge. Or like 5 less than the edge. Or, no, more. Okay, I can work with this. Big again. Okay. For int index x, or let's just go off of tile x equals x mod glyph width No, this should not be mod. This should be divided by. Let's just go with it and see how bad it gets. Okay. Then viewport width tile x plus plus. And this is going to be a double loop because int tile y equals y divided by glyph height. Tile y is less than viewport height. Tile y plus plus. And we're going to set up an index at the start so we have a variable that isn't being. Boop. And now index equals tile x plus tile y times map, or no, map width. Okay. So now we have our tile. I'm also going to get int offset x, int offset y. Offset x equals x mod glyph width, and this equals y mod glyph, because this is how much it's going to push it up and left. Okay. And all I need to do from here is render text sprite, main render, font render for now. And this is coming from tile map. Oh, did I set that up? Yeah, main tile map. Tile map index dot oh, that's why. And the target X is tile X times glyph minus offset X. Tile Y times glyph height and that should do it. So because this could be a separate render, I am going to make a void render map, and it'll just simply be calling render tile map. And I need to import it into here because of course I do. I think I might just do a little something else, but first off, let me look at you. Void test map render. So if theory holds true, all I need to do is, well, let me close this for a bit. And then I go back into main, and instead of going straight into here, it's not Python, I just do that. Or no, I need to grab it. There we go. That is correct. That is correct. I cannot hit buttons. And now what I need to do is also set up something in there. Right now I'm just using my standard font thing in here, so let me just... Get in here. So 0 and 2 down. We default the tile map for int index equals 0. Index is less than map total index plus plus. Int x equals index mod map width. Int y equals index divide map height or map width. And we can do set tile xy02. Now we should have a lot of @ symbols. Well, actually, if I was doing the proper render, because I don't know what this is doing. So we get back over here. Yep, okay. 0, 0. Okay, boop, boop. Did he just give me to the dang line? Okay. Okay, it was just render map. Okay, my bad. Okay, let's see how badly I did. Terribly. Okay, everything did run correctly, so let's go to here. So we're doing font. Okay. These might all be rendering out at 0. Arbitrary amount. Tile X. Oh wait, online. Sorry, I'm blinking a little bit. Okay, so standard. Oh, I need to have that. Okay. Now I'll get a good sampling of what the heck is going on. And it is properly showing numbers. And they're all 0, 2. Do I have this backwards? No, it is getting it from the, and this is using font texture, which is a global, which should be doing it. For sake of argument, zero, 2. Okay. Same thing. Now, completely outside of this, in our heartbeat, let's just render at 3030. So this old thing might be busted. Okay. Oh, I know why. I know why, because I didn't bother actually pushing it to screen. Okay. So I need to actually, render preset. And also blank out the screen. Oh, wrong button. There we go. We got something coming out. Doesn't look correct, but we can work with that. Let's get rid of this. We are iterating through all the things. However, it looks like it's just doing the one. Let's ignore the offset stuff for right now. This should be moving it out. Oh, wait. This thing is... Yeah, okay. That's why. This isn't an exact render. Yeah, let me just do this. Is there an absolute version of this? Nope. We don't need the offset. We don't need the rest of that. Cut this out. What it's basically doing is it's throwing it way off screen because I have it doing some math here. But I don't want to bother with that. I just want to put it X, Y, X, Y. So let's go back into here. Go back into here. And put this down as absolute render. Now I can include the offsets in here. And it's not going to be weird. Or this times glyph width and glyph height. Which is the same. There we go. Now then, I'm going to go back in here. And I am going to have int map at x equals 0, int map at y equals 0. Why do I need that? Because I'm going to add, because I can make these all little tiny functions. We have down here, so like I have with this, if main control.write mod 16 equals 1, map at x plus plus. If main control dot down mod 16 equals 1, map at y plus plus. And now that I have that, in the render map, map at x, map at. Now let's see if this breaks horribly. Oh, look at that. It's not doing it right as I thought. It's screwing up on the sides. Oop. So, back in here. I think we could cheat a little bit on this. Doing that. See, okay, now we're getting it on the edge. Now let's see if it does the weird stuff. Yeah, it's cutting out all the left every time it wraps around. But we're almost there. Why is it doing that? Is the main question. We're getting our proper indexes. It'd be easier if I just rendered out the entire map to a texture and then just flipped that back in, but shh. What happens if I get rid of this? Bad things, but what happens? I don't think it actually moves it anymore. But we still start losing the left side every time it wraps around. Which is telling me that I need a little more offset information. Okay. So once it moves an entire offset Y, it's like it doesn't do, or entire tile to the right, it doesn't do the tile on the left anymore. Yeah, basically we just need to cancel this out like this. So we only use this to get the proper XY, but then we need to cancel it out to put it at 0, 0. Could do this cleaner. I don't care. Okay, let's see how badly I mess up. We're getting a flicker on the right side now. Very So I think that might be my last for right now because I'm a bit out of stamina and I need to do chores and order that pizza I'm thinking of. Seems like a nice way to wrap up this week. Full actual week of actually being able to do things. So with that, thank you for coming. I'm probably going to work on this on my own because this is something I want to put in my quiver for making RPG things. As I said before, I tried to do it in Godot, but I had a lot of problems with Godot, and I just don't like working with engines in general anymore. I might try to revive that and make Final Fantasy, or Final Morkbork, where I just take Final Fantasy and scale it down by 25% and just do all the things you need to do in that. Anyways, thank you for coming. Probably will be streaming again next week. Don't know if it'll be more same or if I try to do some... Oh, it'll be October. I don't... Okay, yeah. I think for October I wanted to do a stream every week of taking a Chuba and making some costumes with them, so maybe I put out some feelers of that, or I just, you know, do a bunch of Ina and other things of just putting them in silly costumes in the pixel art. But yeah, that's all my plan is. I don't think I'll be doing Pixeltober again because, yeah, I want to focus on trying to get more models out there and see if people take the bait. But as is, thank you for showing up this week. And I'll be back on next week, assuming a bus doesn't hit me, which is, the buses are out for blood. Either way, thank you for coming, have a good time of day, and I will see you later.